Hello beaders, and let's get started with the bracelet now. So in this tutorial I am going to be explaining how to read the pattern that you can find free patterns that you find on the internet. So this is what you will find in Pinterest or in Google or anywhere. So what you have to first see is the where it is mentioned circumference. So circumference 8 here means that this is a 8 bead crochet rope. So this is the most important part of this for me, especially when I look at it. I want either a 6 bead or a 8 bead circumference rope. Okay, the pattern, see here it says it's unnamed, so there's no name especially for this heart pattern. And the author is UP. I guess it's a name which I don't understand. It could be a abbreviation of somebody. And this is the organization, that is from where the pattern is from. And circumference means the number of beads per row, that is 8 bead crochet rope. The next is the, see 8 beads here means, see in a rope there will be 8 beads in the circumference. See, can you see here there are 8 beads around here. So there will be 6 beads or 10 beads, like that it will be different. So this is the 8 bead rope. The next is rows, the repeat of colors is 72 beads. Okay, what it means is that each repeat of this pattern consists of 72 beads. See, given here, you can see a list of beads here. Okay, and the list of beads states, see, white 28 beads, red 1, white 1, red 1, white 5, 4 of red. So like this there is a list of beads, and all these together is the total repeat of beads. Okay, so when you add all this together, it is called as one repeat. So starting from the top, as you go down, when you count all these beads together, that is the way you will arrange the beads also. So that is 72 beads in total. So the arrangement of one repeat of beads is like this, and the total number is 72 beads. The next is rows per repeat. That means when you crochet 72 beads, you will get 8 rows of the pattern, 8 rows in your work. So when you crochet all this together, you will get 9 rows. See, I'll show it to you here. See, in this one, so rows means, see, counting the beads row by row. See, I'm marking here, like when you count like this, so there will be 9 rows for one repeat of the pattern. That's what is mentioned here. The next one is total number of rows, that is 60. So in this pattern the designer has made 60 rows. So it could have been for a bracelet. I exactly don't know about it, because I am concentrating on making my own bracelet or bangle. So I don't concentrate about the number of rows. So in this pattern there are 60 rows. So that is the reference here. But we don't need it if we are not going to make the exact same one. And the next one is the total number of beads, that is 480 beads are used in this pattern. So here usually, these numbers are all readily available if we do it on a computer. So that's why they're able to give you the exact number of beads that can be used. But usually I don't count the number of beads. I just go according to the circumference and the inches of beads that I need. So this 480 beads holds, for me especially, I don't count, and it holds no reference to me. But it says that in this pattern, for 80 rows, they have used 480 beads, and that is 396 in white color and 84 beads of red color. So this is what is used in this pattern. But for me, this, like I already told you, this may not be true for all situations, because if it is a bigger size bead, the number of beads will be less, and if it's a smaller size bead, the number of beads will be more. So it will be different in each case. And here in this pattern, the size of the bead is not mentioned, so we don't know what is the size. So it could be 11, it could be 8, it could be 6, or it could be even be 15 size bead. So we don't know. So that we will leave it aside now. So for me, what is important is the circumference, which is 8 bead rope, because that is what will help me to make the pattern. And repeat of colors, that is how many beads are there in per repeat. So that is important for me. So with that, the information of these two is enough for me to either make a bracelet or a bangle or a necklace or a long rope or anything according to what we plan. So now let us calculate for what we are going to make now. So supposing I want a bracelet of say 7 inches. Okay, so number 8 is the circumference of the rope, and I will multiply by 7 inches because that's the length I want. So 8 times 7 is 56 inches. So we will need to string on 56 inches of beads in the pattern that is given here to get a 7-inch rope or a 7-inch chain. 8 is the circumference and 7 is the inches that I want. So let me show you how it is made here. So I've already added the beads onto the thread. So I'm going to show you now. See, I've taken white thread and the beads are strung onto the thread, and the thread is still attached to the beads. And this is the way we add the beads. So don't cut the thread until you finish your work. So that's very important. So leave it. And here you see this starting from, I'll show you now. So you have to look at the list of the beads, and according to that you will have to string it on. So first you will put 28 of the white beads, 1 of red, 1 of white, 1 of red again, 5 of white, and 4 of red, and 5 of white, and so on till you reach the last 8 white beads. Okay, so that is called one repeat, and that is how we string it on. So after we string on one repeat, I usually put a small paper piece like this. I also string that onto it just to indicate that this is one repeat. So this is useful for me in many ways, because I will know how many repeats I have added onto the thread, and even if my thread breaks in between, I'll be able to spot where is the mistake. Or it also helps me to to measure and to check if all my bead stringing is correct. So supposing you are left in between and you don't know where you are, so this marking helps me to understand or maneuver all those difficulties easily. So after, see like this, after every repeat I will put on a small piece of paper. That is, I will stitch, put that also into the needle and thread, and you see after every repeat there will be a small tab of paper like this, all till I reach the 56 inches of the beads that I need to make a 7-inch rope. Okay, after I have added all that, so this is just, I'll just add some randomly, and then I will measure it and show you how many inches I have added and what we need 56 inches. Okay, now we will measure and see. Now we want 56 inches, so let's measure and see now. So to measure it, before measuring, what I do is I just put on a little bit of tape, to stop the beads from moving. So I'll put one in the beginning and a small tab of tape at the end also, so that my beads don't move. If they move, we cannot measure it correctly. So put the tape as a stopper, and then we'll take the measuring tape or the inch tape or whatever you call in your region, and measure and check and see if you have got 56 inches. It can be more also, it's okay, but when we are crocheting we should stop at 56 inches. Okay, so there's 51 and the 56 is here. Okay, so you see 56 is in between a repeat. It's not at the end of one repeat of a of the pattern, so it's in between. So what do we understand from this and how we should work on this? See, when you want to stop in between a repeat, you cannot do that if you are going to make a invisible join bangle. Okay, so if you are going to make an invisible join bangle, you have to stop at the end of a repeat. Yes, it will be, this will be extra, maybe you will get 2 or 3 rows extra, so that size difference can be managed, it is manageable. So you have to stop at the end of a repeat only, you cannot stop in between if you are going to make an invisible join bangle. If you are going to make a bracelet, it's okay, we can stop anywhere. So let me just keep that here and bring the bangle. See this bangle, see if you're, this is an invisible join bangle. So here, if you want to do that, you can't stop the adding the beads in between. You have to stop only when you finish a repeat. Okay. So it's okay, even if it is two rows extra, it's okay, we can manage that, size difference can be managed. But see, in this one we can stop anywhere in between because we don't need the continuity of the pattern. There is a focal bead that I've added in between, and the bead, the crochet tube can start and end at any point, it doesn't matter because the endings don't have to match. So you can even stop wherever you reach 56 inches. And even if you continue with a little more of the beads, it's not going to make a major difference. It will be just 1 or 2 rows extra, that's all in this case. Okay, see, if you see this, if you want to join, there needs to be a continuity of the beads, so only then it will join perfectly and your join won't be seen. Otherwise there won't be continuity and the joint won't sit correctly. Okay, so that's why you have to finish it till the end of a repeat. I'm repeatedly saying the same thing again and again because it's very crucial for us to understand that concept. And also I've added 1 repeat extra here just in case, you know, supposing I change my mind for something and I want it longer, I want it for somebody else, or you know, anything, or some bead breaks in between, or I have to cut the thread and add new beads. So in all those cases it will be easy for me if I already have the beads strung on, so I can easily join it again and work. So that's why I keep at least 1 or 2 repeats extra. That is, if it is in small number, I'll keep it extra. And then after adding all the necessary beads, I'll add these extra beads because these are the beads I need for using on the starter tube. Okay, and this is 8 beads in a different color and the 9th bead in a separate color, which will help us to identify, to detach it from the starter tube easily. So those of you who know my method of using a starter tube or a starter rope to begin the bead crochet rope are well aware of how to do it. So I'll also link it in my description box. So let's bring the 8 bead tube now. So you have to make sure that it is a 8 bead starter tube that you are using because this is a 8 bead crochet rope. So before we start, let's remove this tape on both the sides. So remove these plastic tabs that I had put as stoppers, and then we'll move ahead and start our crochet work. As you know, the beads that we put on in the first are the ones that we are going to crochet in last. So you should remember, when you reach the last, you have to stop before 1 repeat. So that's for you to remember. You know, or even when you're making the tube itself, you will know that when to stop it, because when you reach 7.5 inches, you'll know you have to stop. So just be aware that this one is an extra repeat. And the beads that we put on last are the ones that we are going to crochet first. So this is the extra set of beads or the extra repeat of pattern that I have, which should not be crocheted. You have to stop before that. So after removing the tape, we can begin to make the bead crochet rope now. So let's begin. So if you already know the method of how to do it, so we'll secure all the threads properly like this. And those of you who are new to this method may please refer to my other videos where I show this in detail. Okay, so we'll begin stitching or making the bead crochet slip stitches on the starter tube like this. So this is where the last bead ended. So we begin our new rope from the first bead in that row. So start by slip stitching like this and continue slip stitching 7 more beads in this row. So when you complete one row, and you have to look at your tube and make sure that you have 8 beads in that row, because that in the beginning especially you have to be really careful and watch out until 1 or 2 rows you'll have to be careful. See, the first bead will try to go inside the well of the tube, so make sure that you push it out and then continue in a spiral. So there's no joining or anything, so it just continue in a spiral. Now the second row begins, and in the second row begins with the green bead, and now we come to the white and red beads which are part of our pattern. So continue like this, bead crochet slip stitches in spiral. Now from here it will be easy because we have done the setup properly, so it will be easy for us to do the rope now. And please look into the related video if you are new to this method. So now I forgot to tell you about one thing, that is, when you are adding the beads, you have to be extra careful about adding them correctly in the same number as mentioned in the pattern. If you make any mistakes in between, your design won't come out as given in the pattern. See, the heart shape may change or the placement of the red beads may change. So what happens is you will not get the same heart shape pattern, or you will not get the same design as given in the pattern. So you have to make sure that you string on the beads correctly in the same order. Even after you string on, you have to make sure you have to at least look into it again once or twice to make sure that your bead stringing is correct. Okay, and for that also I have a video, 1 or 2 easy methods for you to use for checking the accuracy of the beads that you are stringing. So that will be also helpful to you. I'll link it below in the description box. And then we can continue bead crochet slip stitches till the length that we want. Here you see I've completed one repeat, and after I've come to the end of that repeat. That's why I've reached the paper tab there. That indicates that I have completed one repeat, right? So this is what I got after completing one repeat, and you can see that my work is correct because you can see the shape of the heart is correct and there has been no mistakes. So only if you add the beads correctly, you will get this correct designs. Otherwise your designs may be wrong, then you will have to rework on that. I have now completed about 4 or 5 repeats of the pattern. Here you see I think more than that I've completed about 8 or 9 repeats I've completed, I think. And this is what I have got. And at this stage I understood that this rope is quite thick because I'm also using a size 8 bead, and I thought it will be too big to make it into a bangle. So I decided I will make a bracelet. So what I did was I stopped here and I plan to add these clasps and toggle clasps and things in order to make it into a bracelet, so that there will be it won't be so thick and big. And I also got some plastic acrylic heart shaped beads, which I plan to add it on later. I'll show you how I do that. So now, since I'm going to stop here, so initially my plan was to make it into a bangle, so I wanted 56 inches and I had to do that much. But now what I did was I stopped here. So let's measure and see how much we got. And also, before we proceed here, so I have made a 5-inch tube. Okay, so my initial requirement is 7 inches, so I will need 2 inches of these parts to make it into the 7 inches that I need. Okay, so I have to add all these. See, some jump rings are there and the toggle clasp is there, which will, when added, will add the 2 inches for this. So before doing anything else, what I will do is I will now detach it from the starter rope first. So leave the ending as it is, because in case I want to continue, I can continue. So I am not doing anything with that part of the bead work now, with that part of the bead stringing. So I'm just leaving it there, and I'm going to go ahead and detach it now. So this detaching method also I have already shown you in other videos, how to do it clearly and in a slow format. So you may please refer to that video to do that. I will link link it in the description box for you, for those of you who are new to this method. So when I remove the last bead, you can see I have detached it completely now, and the starter tube can be kept away. And you can see that all the extra 9 beads that I added have come out, and this is the clean finish that we got. And now let's deal with the other side of it, because we have to finish that side also if we want to add our this findings or the parts for the clasp. And all this together should make up 2 inches for me, so that I'll have to check as I work. So before that, now I have to slip stitch this side, because I'm not going to be doing an invisible join. I don't need to end it like this. I have to make only slip stitches without the beads in order to complete this side. So slip stitch without beads 8 times. Because it is a 8 bead rope, you have to do it 8 times. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So slip stitch 8 times, and then just to join them together, we can slip stitch again in the first one and make a chain and take out the thread. So just let me push the beads down, because I need some thread here. Okay, when you stop like this, you can make a chain and then bring out a big loop and cut it there. Okay, we need enough thread to put them inside the tube, so just leave about maybe about 4 inches of thread is enough. Okay, so this is how it will be finished on this side. Anytime you need to add a clasp or something or a bead cap, this is how you'll finish it. So this thread, both the starting and the ending thread, needs to be woven into the bangle. So since you already know how to do it, I'm just go through it quickly. See, go through the only the thread of the rope without going into any of the beads. Just take your needle up and down a couple of times, and that will be good enough. So don't pull too tight on the thread, otherwise your tube may distort and then it may go out of shape. So very gently, if you just pass it crisscross here and there, you know, the thread will be secure and it will not come out. So this much is enough. Now we can cut off this thread. Okay, so this part is done. Now the same will be done on the other side also. So this is how it looks now. Once we have done that, I am going to add this bead cap. Okay, so just going to slip it. So this bead cap, I do not know the measurement of this. It just suits my tube, so I am using it. So depends on the beads that you are using, so you have to go according to your needs. And I've got here 2 eye pins which we'll be using for holding the strands together, and I'll show you why I have taken a longer eye pin here. So first let us open the eye of the pin and make it into kind of a loop so that we can grab the thread. So use your pliers and open it out like this, and in this open loop that's there, you have to grab on these threads that you can see at the top of your tubes. So it is a little tricky to do that, but it's easy. But you know, with a little patience we will get there. I think mine, I have to bend it down a little bit more. I guess I opened the eye a little bit too much. Okay, so now this is the correct opening. So let me hold it onto a tool and then try to get it inside. So usually off camera it's easy, but when I'm working on the camera, you know, never able to do it in one go. That's because of the camera and I'm away from it and my glasses don't help that much, so that's why it is a little problematic. So hold the tool or whatever is easy for you. Make sure that you gather at least 3 or 4 of the threads that you see on the top inside the loop like this. Okay, gather it inside the loop. Like this, and then you have to close the loop. So to close the loop, you can just press it and gather everything inside, or you can even get it back into the same shape as before by using 2 tools also. See, like this. Okay, just get it back into the shape that it was earlier, and a few of the threads, that is about 3 or 4 threads, are inside. So if you're able to get all of them also, it's good, but in this case I've got about 4 of them only inside. I think 4 or 5, I think. Okay, close them up tightly. We can also use a straight wire and then also make it into a loop and then close it, so that's also possible. So this is already an eye pin, so that's why I'm showing it to you like this. Okay, let's get it a little straight now, and you see a little bit of the thread is inside and it is looped inside and it is all inside the loop. Now I'll add the bead cap. I'm right-handed, so always right hand works easier. Okay, so now instead of pushing the bead cap, you just give it a twist so that it easily slides into the tube like this and sets tightly. Make sure that you push it till it reaches the roof of the bead cap, and when you're sure you're ready, then I'm going to make a wrapped loop here. Instead of just making an ordinary loop, I'm going to make a wrapped loop because I find that to be more sturdier, which will not come out easily. So my wire work is not so great. I'm not very good at it, so I just manage to do it because I don't do wire work often, so I have no much practice. So with whatever knowledge I have, I try to make it. In another video, I'll show you how to do this even without the wire also. You can just use thread and needle and also do this. See, all of us may not be able to do this, or we may not have all the materials to do this wire wrapping and all that. So in another video, I'll show you how to just do it with the thread also. And now before I close that loop, I am going to be adding a closed jump ring. Okay, this jump ring does not open, so that's why I have to add it before I close that loop. If it is a open jump ring, then we can add the jump ring later, but if it's a closed jump ring, I have to add it at this stage. So I'm making a little place for this closed jump ring. See, I wanted to tell you about the open jump ring, right? So if it is an open jump ring, I can add it after I make the loop also. So just try to push it inside. Okay, so see, it's inside there. Now I have to wrap this extra wire that you see here. I have to wrap it around this at least 2 or 3 times in order to secure it nicely. So I'll just be wrapping it on itself like this. Okay, now I've made 3 rounds and I think I'll stop here. And this extra, see, the wrapped loop comes like this, and it is more secure than an ordinary loop. Ordinary loop, or it's also called as a simple loop. So this extra wire that you can see here, so use a flush cutter and cut it very close to where we ended it. And even after you cut it, there will be a little part sticking out which will rub against your skin, so you have to take a plier and soften it there, press it down so that it will be nice and soft and it will not be poking outside. So see, this is how it should look now. So I've made a wrapped loop, and I've also put a closed jump ring before closing that wrap loop. So I'll do the same thing on the other side also. See, both sides are done now. And the purpose of having this wrapped loop is because this by itself is nice and sturdy, and the extra clasps that we add can be you can replace it whenever you need. Supposing something breaks or something, it can be replaced, whereas this will stay nice and sturdy. If these wrap loops are not there, and if it is a simple loop, chances are that it can come out a little bit easily. So I'm a little paranoid about those things, so that's why I prefer to have wrapped loops like this. And then now to add the rest of the findings, I want to add a open jump ring, and in that open jump ring on one side I am going to add one part of the toggle clasp. So I'll put on the toggle clasp and then close the jump ring. See, to close the jump ring, you have to go back and forth like this in order to close it round. So do not press it, and if you press it, the shape of the jump ring will go away and it won't be round anymore. So you have to go back and forth like this and close it, and until you hear a small click, you'll have to keep doing that. See, even this is a little open still. This one also has to be little closed a little more well. So these things are very important if you want to make very good finish jewelry items. You have to watch out for this, and also you must use good quality materials to get the good finishes. So that's how it will look. I'll do the same on the other side also. Other side, I am going to add the next part of the toggle clasp. So first I'll add a jump ring, and then add the next part of the toggle clasp and close it again. Move it back and forth until you hear the click. See, now it's perfectly closed and it's nice and round. So this is what we want. Yeah, just move it a little further away from where you are closing it, so it will be nice and round and fixed properly. So this is done now, and once I close the toggle clasp, so this is my bracelet. Okay, so after finishing this, I can check and see whether this is enough for me, the length is enough, or I need to add more jump rings. I can add more jump rings to increase the length here. And now I just want to measure and see, and if my measurement is a little lesser, I will then add more jump rings to bring it to the measurement that I want. I have now added the acrylic hearts on either side of the tube like this, just where the tube ends. Okay, and this is how it looks now. So when we now put on the toggle clasps like this, here is the final look of the bracelet so far. Okay, then when I checked this, I then realized that maybe I can shift the hearts to another place where it will be more prominent and it will look more
तो ये हार्ट
better.
को
So
आप
what I'm
कहीं
going
पे
to
भी
do is I'm going to take these
डाल
two
सकते हैं
hearts
ना,
and move
इसको
it
निकाल के यहाँ
near
भी
to the
डाल
toggle
सकते हैं
clasps
ताकि
so
ये
that let's
यहाँ
see how
फिक्स हो
that
जाएगी.
looks.
सो वो भी
So
मैं
since it's an
अभी
open
करके
jump ring,
दिखाती
I
हूँ.
can easily take out and shift the place now. So that's what I am going to see. Now I have shifted it to this place, to one place here, and now I like this look where both the hearts are in one place and looks more like a charm hanging out from one part of the bangle or the bracelet. So this is the final look of what I made for this Valentine's Day. Thank you so much for giving me your time and for watching this video. As usual, you can reach out to me either by on the comment section or DM me on my Instagram. I will be happy to answer your questions and help you in your bead crochet journey. And if you like this video, please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and do like and share this video if you like it. Thank you. See you.